Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm the Queen of York and I like to play The Sims 4. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you stay updated every time I post a new video. In today's video, I am sharing a speed build. This is like a more contemporary style build, and I've called it Contemporary Dreamer because I thought the people who kind of live here are people who aspire to have really good jobs and live in a large house, and they're quite young and in like a young family, but not brand new young adult Sims. So I'm thinking like they're midway through their 20s or late 20s, early 30s, and they've just started a family. They've got a young child and a toddler. They have decent jobs, but it's not like they're not the top of their career or anything. They're kind of maybe midway through their career in terms of getting to the top. So they have a bit of extra money, but they're not rich yet. So they've bought this house to kind of move in with their family, but it's not their forever home. This is their home for right now, and when they can afford something better, they'll have an even bigger contemporary house. So the actual house itself is quite small. I did actually make this house quite a while ago, before the update where you could extend the roofs. So at the moment I'm kind of trying to get the roofs to extend enough for the look that I'm going for, but at the time it only extended I think it was like 2 squares or something over the roof. So do you know, like when you pull the roofs to the sides and at the bottom and the top, they only extended 2 squares away from the walls of the roof. So at the moment I'm just trying to play around with that and trying to get it to look right. And I wish they had some angled roofs, angled windows that you could put in the roofs, because a lot of like mid-century modern and like contemporary houses have like these like angled windows in the roofs just to bring in some more light. So that's one thing I wish they would bring in. I know it kind of restricts the angles you can have on your roof, but you know, it's better than nothing, right? So at the moment I'm just trying to work out what doors and windows and their orientation, and the front is looking really good. It looks exactly how I expected it to, but at the back it is, I struggle with the back of houses, because even in like a real house you'll generally have an interesting shape on the outside, on the front for curb appeal, but as soon as you go to the back it's normally like a box like this, just like a flat wall, because they don't care what the house looks like at the back, I suppose, because it's not what attracts a buyer or people when they're walking past, because they don't see it. So I'm just trying to make it look a bit more interesting than a flat shape, which just takes a little bit of finagling, and I go back and forth a lot through this build. A lot of the times once I start actually furnishing the house, I realise that it's just way too small or too big, and then I go and extend or reduce the size of the actual build. So on this I go backwards and forwards quite a lot. So I extend it, then I reduce it, then I extend it, then reduce it. Anyway, so yeah, for the back I wanted to have these little balconies that are similar to the front, but I couldn't get a wall to go all the way to the top of this roof, which is a bit annoying. So I just use like some half walls and it kind of ends a little bit, but you can just use your imagination and it gives the effect that I wanted it to, so that's okay. But yeah, just trying to put these balconies on the back like it has on the front, just to make it look a bit more interesting with the angles and less boxy. And then the roofs, just trying to make them fit correctly and work. And I really like this dividing wall with for the roof, and I think I changed that to a half wall, so it like looks like the roof is just resting on that wall, and there's like this big gap on the taller roof. But yeah, I really like the roof actually. It's quite interesting and different from what I've done before. I don't really play around a lot with angled roofs, and to be honest, I hate roofs. So when I can have a flat roof, aka no roof, that is the best, because you can't really mess up a flat roof. It's just one level. Whereas actual roofs, trying to get them to connect correctly and everything is just such a pain, and I'm just not very good at it. So I suppose I should actually do it more so I get better. I don't know. But for the inside, the layout was pretty simple. It did restrict a lot of what I kind of wanted. I wanted the entryway to have this big open feel to it, where it goes straight up to the roof, 2 floors. So when you walk in, it just feels really big, because the rest of the house is quite small and compact. So I kind of wanted to give this view of it being quite spacious, even though it's not. And because I wanted this to be like a family home, you have to squish in quite a lot. And that's why I thought it was for like someone who is in the earlier stages of their career, like early to mid stages of their career, because it's more expensive than a starter home, but it is affordable if they've worked in the career for a little bit. So it's quite compact. But you can change this to a 1-bedroom, and it would be quite a nice 1-bedroom house. So this is where I start extending it, just to get more space, so I could have 3 bedrooms comfortably. But in the end, I actually extended it way too much, and it all gets reduced again. So, and I wished I had cars, because this has got like a natural carport that goes underneath the master bedroom. But we don't have any cars, and I don't get why we can't have cars, because if it's just the animation of them getting into the car and then the car disappears, like, that's fine. I don't mind that. Like, you don't have to physically see the car everywhere you go. Like, just let it disappear. And it's just for traveling purposes. Like you travel now, that you don't see a taxi and get in a taxi when you travel now. So I hope they do bring in cars, because I just think it's missing so much. And I really loved having cars on the drive and doing garages in The Sims 3. It just makes a house look so much more realistic, having the garage or like a carport or something, because that's how houses are when you see them. You see them with a garage option. So yeah, that's definitely on my wish list, and I've got a few other things. If you want me to do a video of everything that I feel is missing from The Sims, or I've got an idea of doing a video where I say my favourite things on The Sims 4 that are really good, or done really well, and then things that I wish we had that were in The Sims 3. But yeah, so I think I've pretty much done the outside and the final extension of the house. And now just trying to put in the layout and the floor plan inside the house. I wanted it to have a real homey feel, so I wanted a downstairs toilet and laundry room, and then I also wanted like a dining room and a lounge and a little office. But in the end, the space is so compact that I get everything in there, but it's just about compromising to get it to sit right. And then just adding this little balcony sitting area on the side, because it was just a bit boring, and there was this excess space on the floor plan that I thought we could utilize and actually just have something a bit more interesting and make the shape less boxy. And then for these balconies, I did initially have them as like working balconies. So I did put doors so they could go out onto the balcony, but when I was furnishing, I didn't like the look that it had with stuff on the balcony. It just kind of ruined that like clean, sleek, contemporary feel. So I did remove the doors and just make them balconies that you just kind of see, but you don't actually get to go onto. And I don't know why I took so long to put lights in, because it's so much harder seeing without any lights. But hey ho, I go in a weird way sometimes. For the kitchen, it was so simple. I wanted it to be like, I don't know if it's the same in everywhere else, but in the UK, you can buy like a contemporary build, so a new build, and you do get the option of customizing the house a little bit depending on when you buy it. So if you buy it when the developers are starting the build, you can have a bit more say in how it looks, with the tiling, the painting, the kitchen cabinets and appliances and all that stuff. So you can have like a little bit more say. But if you buy it later on in the design or development stages, you don't get to customize it. So you'll just get it with like a really bog standard simple kitchen, and I feel like that's what they got. So I wanted the kitchen to be very sparse and simple, and not have much like character, and the only thing they can add color wise is the bar stools. So I really like this like white cabinet with like this dark wood countertop, and I feel like that would just be the standard for these builds, and then they kind of just have to either redo their kitchen in the future when they can afford it, or just put up with it as it is. And it is ridiculously small. It is such a small kitchen, but again, this is like the dreamer. They want something bigger, but this will do for now, and it meets their needs for their family at the moment. But they'll definitely buy something bigger once they can afford it. So initially, this is where I wanted the study little area with a door going out to what would be a carport. But in the end, I do change this out and have a breakfast nook, and dining room area, because I was playing around with the booths, and I really wanted to use the booths that came with Dine Out, because I never use them, but it's like the perfect like breakfast nook furniture. They're just quite bulky. That's my only criticism. They're really bulky, and the colorways, you don't get very many options, but otherwise I love it. I just hope that they bring out more options and smaller versions so they're not so big. And it would be great if they brought out like bench seating for dining room table, so work like the booth does, but it would be a bench, or have very low backrests. But that is in my wish list. So I've got quite a long wish list. So for this front bit, I kind of wanted to work out how I would utilize the space, because it's just like an empty space at the moment because we don't have cars. And I thought maybe I would make it into like the storage area or something like that. So I just like pulled out some storage items. So these crates, the holiday box that came with seasons, and an outdoor bin. And I don't think I actually put a bin inside the house, which, oopsie. I mean, let me know in the comments down below what you always forget in a build, because I forget things all the time, and then at the end I'm like, oh. Mine is normally a bin and a post box. And I think that is it that I forget. But yeah, so let me know what you forget all the time. And this is kind of when I'm getting close to changing it around. So I'm just working out the floor plan or the layout of the lounge area. And I realized that the space is so small. So I wanted to utilize the space underneath the stairs, because I mean, where else would you put it? Because of the windows and the layout of the kitchen, it's just not possible to have it any other way. I mean, you could have the kitchen on that back wall going underneath the stairs, and that would make quite a nice open kitchen. So if you do download this house, it's the Queen of York on the gallery, or Contemporary Dreamer on the gallery, you can actually change it around and have the kitchen on that back wall So as they enter, it kind of enters into the kitchen with a breakfast bar, and then you can have the lounge where the kitchen is, and then a small dining room or a small dining table in that gap in the middle, and keep the study where it is at the moment. So that would be quite a nice layout and floor plan if that's how you wanted it. But you can customize it however you want and however it works for your Sims. Just working out the color scheme is half the battle, I feel, with designing or decorating in the Sims, because you're so limited on the swatches and getting everything to kind of match cohesively. And I feel like it gets to one thing that kind of just clicks, and that's what like dictates the whole look and the vibe. So for this room, it was this rug, which I just love. I don't know what pack, I think it's from Get Famous, and I just thought it was so pretty, and I've never used it before, so I thought I'll use that. And that kind of gave me the idea of using like blue tones, and I think the stools in the kitchen are already blue, so it kind of marries up with that look and feel, so it all feels like cohesive, and there's like a pattern through the house, but it's not too matchy that it's like weird. And I actually use these mid-century modern style bucket seats all the time. They're one of my favorite pieces of furniture that came with the game. I think it's from Seasons or Get Famous, I'm not sure, might be Get Famous, but they're just done so well, and the colorways are quite good. But I do tend to go with the blue color quite often, or the bright yellow. The bright yellow is just gorgeous. But it's weird when you watch back like your design footage, so when you do like speed builds and stuff and you watch it back, and you realize how often you use the similar items or the same sort of items all the time. So for me, it's those buckets, mid-century modern bucket seats, and the like jade coloured wall tiles that came with Spa Days, and I use that all the time in a bathroom, which I think I'm gonna have to put those on my not to use for a while list, because otherwise, you know, it just all looks the same or similar, or you know. But yeah, again, everyone has their favorite items, and also this flooring is one of my favorite. It's like this like rustic, very simple light wood plank flooring, and I just think it looks so nice, especially in like a contemporary build, because it's so minimal. But it's just really pretty, and I don't think you can get a color that's similar to this in anything other than this like plank. And I tend to go for wood flooring a lot, even though in the UK a lot of the flooring is carpeted, so you'd think that I would have or use carpeted floors more, but I just really like the look of the wood floor. And I never actually use the carpet in The Sims. I think I need to do a challenge where I use things that I don't use very often or hardly ever use. Some of my least used items. And there's a few things there that I've never used. So that'll be quite fun, but still make it look nice. I don't want to do like a challenge where I use like the things I never use and it looks like horrible. I want it to look like it kind of goes together, and you know, there's a theme and it actually looks good. But just challenge myself a bit more to explore other items that I otherwise haven't used. So for the master bedroom, it's very compact. It's quite small, so it's just got space to have a double bed and a chest of drawers, which I know we've got in the bathroom. I wanted it to have like hanging clothes, so it's like a walk-in wardrobe and bathroom. So realistically, you wouldn't need the chest of drawers because you've got your hanging stuff in the bathroom, but they can't actually change their outfit with the clothes anyway, and I just thought it made the room look more realistic. So I suppose you've got to have somewhere to put your socks and your underpants, right? And the bathroom, again, see what I mean? These jade walls, which I use all the time, and it's quite a simple bathroom with just white shower cubicle and toilet and sink with these white robes and then a bit of colour on the wall, which seems to be my go-to because it's easy and you don't really get many options with the bathroom, to be honest. I really need to challenge myself and really try something different with the bathroom. I really want to use the mosaic tiles that came with Jungle Adventure. I think they're so cool and would look amazing in a bathroom. But I want to do like more boho build maybe, and I want to build a house that's similar to Mia Stammer. If you've seen her videos on YouTube, she has got the most gorgeous Japanese inspired mid-century modern house, and I'd love to do a build that's kind of that sort of vibe, because it's just a bit more challenging and a little bit more different to what I'm used to or what I see, because I've never seen a house like that in person, and it's just fun to push the boundaries and go out of your comfort zone, I think. So this is the point where I realise I don't want any furniture on the balconies, and I swap out the doors and put windows instead, and then just a little bit of outdoor lighting just to light up the house from the outside and the balconies, just to make it look a bit more appealing and pretty. And then working out what I wanted to do with these two back bedrooms. Initially I thought there'd be like a teen and a toddler in the house, but I wanted to make a really like child friendly and bright colour palette bathroom. So I've got this yellow tile in the bath and the shower with bright red counters, and then a blue mirror with I thought I left it blue, but a white mirror but with blue tiles and yellow tiles and orange rug. So I changed it to a young girl's bedroom and a toddler's room at the back, just to make it feel like it was more age appropriate for that sort of bathroom. And also it fits the theme that they are like starting out their family. So their family is quite young, and they've been working for 5 years or something at this point before they bought this house. So yeah, and then the little girl, I wanted to try something different, so I put this chemistry set, because I always tend to have the same thing. So I normally have the drawing table and then like a little study table and some toys. So I thought this would be a nice little change, and you know, maybe the girl is a little brain box, and that's why she's got this little poster on the wall with the little light bulb, because she's a future scientist and she wants to be smart even. God, I can't even speak today. And then for the little boy toddler's room, I really love this little frog rug, which I've never used again. And I wanted to play with these brighter colours, because a lot of the time I go with this similar colour palette than what I've done before. So I just wanted to like push myself out the boundaries a little bit with this build and with the furnishing, because the difficulty is that things can look quite similar, which is not ideal. I actually built loads of houses a while ago for when Newcrest first like came out, so years ago, and I made some really interesting houses with very, very, very different looks and feels, but I actually lost all the footage because I wanted to put it on my YouTube channel, and that's what prevented me from posting videos for a long time, because I was like, I was so like demotivated because I'd lost all this footage of things I'd spent days building, and they were so intricate and ornate and amazing. I loved them, but I lost them all. I even lost all the builds because my computer broke, and it was a whole drama. But yeah, I want to get back to that sort of individuality in all the builds. So I try and think of people that would live in the house, so that I can give it kind of more personality and make it less generic. But yeah, so this garden is so over the top. I mean, I don't know why I put so much foliage and plants. If you download this house and you want it to be cheaper, just delete 50% of the plants. You don't need this many. Like, this is just like complete overkill. I don't know why I put this much. It's like they live in like a house in the middle of a forest or a meadow. I mean, it's just crazy. It'd be great for Granite Falls because it's so like lush and green. But the actual garden itself is quite simple. It's just got this little kitchen bench in the back and a patio for sitting on, and then the little kids play jungle gym monkey bars. I'll find the word eventually. So it's very, very simple, and kind of this idea that they don't have much garden space, and they've just got a little thing for their kids to play on and somewhere to sit outside, and it's not like over the top or anything like that. But yeah, so we're going to get into the pictures so you can see the final look of the property. And I have this in Newcrest at the moment, but I'm thinking about redoing or creating a save file, because every time I start a new game I need to place certain items like restaurants and bowling alleys and things for the Sims to do. So I think I'm going to make a save file with little neighborhoods of similar housing types. So I'm going to put this in there somewhere. I'm going to work out where I want the contemporary housing to be, and then put like the contemporary houses together so it looks like a neighborhood of like a new build like you get in the UK. But anyway, this is just some pictures of the inside, and the walls are quite blank because I thought that their kids would draw pictures, and they would be the sort of family that have like their kids' pictures all over the place because they're proud parents. And they've got white walls because I love a white wall. I just think it's so clean and fresh. But anyway, this is the house, so let me know if you like it. Give this video a thumbs up, and let me have a comment down below of things that you forget in your builds, because I forget something all the time. And make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you stay updated every time I post a video, and I will see you guys very soon. Dag dag.